Hello and thank you for coming to check this out. Right, let's continue looking at ways to make your titles auto-adjustable for Final Cut. And so now we're going to move on to some things that you can do to make the subtitles auto-adjust into the right position. And to follow along here, you're going to have to, if you haven't already, go and check out Automatic Titles Part 9. So that you can get set up for this. So let's just have a quick look at this setup already. Here's my frame right here, and this is the 4-point link frame that we did before. So all those anchors that we bolted on are there, but I've just turned them all off and I just have D visible for now. Okay, I have the main title text here. It's stenciled into the frame. The frame is on and it's masked to the text to create this cutout effect. And I have this subtitle set up here. The subtitle is just sitting under the frame at 78 position on the Y, and the subtitle text is sitting at 0 inside of the group. I've got a sequence text applied, but I haven't done anything to it yet. Or have I? Oh yeah, I have. Okay. So I have the sequence text running. It's for this example of what we can do with our linked frame that we set up before with these null positions bolted on. I have this sequence text set to 2. So the text is going to start from up here behind the mask, and it's going to run down to the value that we set. The mask, by the way, this is the mask source. I've made it really big. It's aligned to the bottom of the frame, so when the frame adjusts, the mask is always going to get adjusted with it. Okay, so that is the basic setup. So let's look at one of the options that are now open to us because we have created these bolt-on null values to our linked frame. To get set up for this example, I've set the sequence text to run the full duration and just pulled it back 270 frames so that it just has 30 frames to run, so that's a second in this project. I've taken out the 2 value, so the subtitle text is sitting up here behind the mask. Alright, so what we're going to do is grab D, this null value that we bolted onto our frame, and grab that Y link. And let's offset this by -75. Remember that these offsets are publishable, so you can give, if you want, you can give the editor control over that in your template as well. Okay, so we've set the null value down here. In properties, you see that this is now the actual Y value for this, not the X, not the Y offset value. In position, this is the value of this null object here. So I'm going to come to the sequence text, grab the Y value, the 2 value, and set a link on that. So I'm just going to call my link D, Y, null. And drag in D as the source. So we are linking our target parameter, the sequence text format value of Y, to the null object's properties transform position Y. And you'll see the text comes down here, but not all the way, because we have to give this link the same offset that we gave this one. So -75, and remember that you can link this offset to this offset to keep them in tune with each other. Okay, so what we've done, we've told the sequence text to send the subtitle to wherever this Y value is. So if we come to the main title text now, and add another line and add one more, our subtitle is always going to end up in the right place. So that's one option we've got, and that will suit some designs more than others. So let's look at other options that we have. Okay, first of all, I'm looking at that Y position link for the D null that we offset to set it down here. And the thing we want to know is that we can publish this, we can rig it to a slider, and that is necessary because with the subtitle, either by changing font or by changing size, the text can start to push up behind the mask. So by making the offset available to the user of your template, you can give them a means to adjust. To pull things back down. So that's not so much auto adjustability, just making sure that your templates are adjustable. So you might put that on a rig and publish the rig, or just publish the value itself. For example, maybe call this something like adjust subtitle position, something like that. By the way, if you want to add more lines to your subtitle or expand this build into something more than a main title and a subtitle, so we have the sequence text here. It's set to line. I'm going to make sure that the speed's set to decelerate. I'm going to make sure it's set to backwards, so that if we do add another line, then the bottom line will come down first, followed by the top line. You don't want, if it's set to forward, you're going to get the top line coming in and then the bottom line running in after it over the top. Doesn't look very good. Okay, so there's some ideas. That's an option you have to automate the position of a subtitle to always be in the right place using the null anchors that we used. And a point that I'm going to touch on now to explain the benefit of using this null value attached to our frame instead of a line 2 is that when you go to Final Cut, it's a natural feature within Final Cut that if your text is set as editable, the editor can grab the text inside Final Cut and reposition it. adjust things if they want to. But if we did use the align to behavior to anchor this subtitle to always follow the bottom edge of the main title, then you lose that feature. The editor cannot grab the text and just tweak where it is as they like. Okay then, let's have a look at another option. Okay, what I've done here is I have changed the sequence text sequencing. I've changed it from to from, and I've set the from position, so that not the final position now, the start position, to 150, so the text is always going to start up behind the mask and then come down. So I've then taken that link to the null value and placed that on the subtitled group instead. And this gives us a couple of other options that we didn't have in the other option. So what we can do is, well, let's come now to this offset that we put before, and if I'm going to adjust that down, you're going to see that the text is going to start from outside of the masked area. So then we can take our sequence text, we're going to take this from position and we're going to publish that. And I can adjust this to something like and this one can be subtitle start. And there's many reasons why you would want to use this setup instead of the other one. So I can adjust this value now to be up here. And again, we're going to come to the main title. Set another line and another line. So there's another option for you to think about. Okay, that's all for this guide. I have a few more things to share with you over the coming weeks. I hope that this was useful, and thanks for checking it out. Thanks for watching.